Cheren is a brutal monster that has trapped many players in the early game purgatory that is BB2 Redux. His entire team sports workup, which, if goes unchecked, will end your run. With only 6 encounters before the fight, a brutal double battle against a Team Plasma Grunt, and a potential mini-boss fight in Roxanne, hardcore Nuzlocking Cheren isn't easy. But today, we're going to be taking a look at one of your teams that wiped to Roxanne, and how, with a little better planning, this fight can be very winnable. This is Nuzlocke Case Studies. Hello everyone, my name is Garrett and welcome back to Nuzlocke Case Studies, the show where we generate a random number of encounters, or take some of yours from home, and show you how to best beat a boss fight with those encounters. Remember, this show is never about insulting or making fun of anybody. We're all just here to have fun and enjoy some complicated Pokemon battling. Now here's a quick little reminder for anyone who needs it of what the hardcore Nuzlocke rule set that I'm going to be playing with. 1. If a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and can never be used again. 2. You may only catch one Pokemon per encounter location, and it must be the first Pokemon that you meet in that location. 3. No item usage in battle, outside of held items. 4. No over-leveling your Pokemon past the next gym leader's highest level Pokemon. And last but not least, number 5, I must play on set mode. Now with that out of the way, let me introduce you to BB2 Redux. BB2 Redux is a remake of a ROM hack of a sequel to a Pokemon game. In Redux, a lot has been changed to enhance the game. Almost every enemy trainer's team has been changed to improve difficulty and overall variety. In addition to that, almost every encounter in Wild Grass has been changed as well. Every Pokemon up to Gen 5 is in this game, and there's even an added Fairy type. The main takeaway from all this though, is that the game is a lot more difficult. And if you're Nuzlocking, your early game options are very limited. You get 6 encounters before the first boss fight, Cheren. These are your starter in Aspertia City, a complimentary monkey gift in Floccesy Town, an egg that can be hatched in Aspertia Gate, and then wild encounters that can be found on Route 19, Route 20, and at Floccesy Ranch. Our starter choices are the standard Unova ones. However, in this game, you're not just picking which starter you want, but also which complimentary monkey gift you'll receive in Floccesy Town. Tepig players would get Pansage, Snivy players would get Panpour, and Oshawott players would receive a Pansear. Most players would agree that Tepig is usually the best starter choice. However, Oshawott and Pansear is typically a better combo overall. Both are very viable picks. Our player decided to go with the Oshawott and Pansear starter, so that's 2 encounters that we have to work with already taken care of. Now let's take a look at the egg. When the egg is hatched, it can be any of these encounters, and while some of them are much better than others, Litwick, they're all usually pretty decent. Our player rolled Teddiursa, which isn't bad at all. Finally, we have our wild encounters. For Route 19, we got a Patrat. For Route 20, we got a Swinub. And for Floccesy Ranch, we got a Poochyena. You think people are gonna say that bit's getting old? Funny thing is, it's not a bit. Anyways, now that we know our team and what we're working with, let's run some tests, theorycraft a bit, and find out what the best way to take on this fight is gonna be. Cheren's lead Pokemon is Porygon. This thing has Psybeam to hit your fighting types, Charge Beam to hit our Oshawott, and Swift as a stab move that can 2-hit kill almost anything you can get at this point. Porygon can immediately be the breaking point for a lot of Cheren teams that don't have Tepig. This thing can be a nightmare to deal with. The very first thing I did once I got my hands on the save file was import the Pokemon into a damage calculator, so that I could find out if any of these mons had a chance against Porygon. To my dismay, nothing could 2-shot it, and everything got 2-shot. But upon further inspection, I noticed Teddiursa had the Quick Feet ability. Additionally, I noticed that Teddiursa would have a 2-hit kill against Porygon if I gave it the Muscle Band, an item that we get before the Cheren fight. But thanks to Teddiursa's 0 IV in speed, it would get outsped and killed before it would ever get 2 hits in. That's where the Quick Feet ability comes in. You see, Quick Feet boosts a Pokemon's speed if they have a status condition. So all I have to do is poison my Teddiursa before the fight, and we can outspeed and kill Porygon with a couple of headbutts. Porygon will only get 1 turn to do anything, during which it can either work up, which would mean a riskless opening for us, or it could go for Swift, If it decides to use Swift, then max roll crit into poison damage would kill us. But there's not much that I can do against that. Speaking of rolls though, let me quickly explain how damage rolling works in Pokemon. For all of you that don't know, every attack in Pokemon has a base power. This number is used to calculate how much damage it will deal to opposing Pokemon, after defense stats, typing, and all of that is taken into account. A move can deal damage that's equal to 85% to 100% of its base power, based all on a dice roll. So, if the Porygon rolls 100% and goes for Swift, and it crits, then we die. But hey, what are you gonna do? Assuming we make it past the Porygon, Munchlax will come out, Cheren's ace. And if you thought Porygon was bad, Munchlax of course has Work Up, but it also has Chip Away and Rock Tomb to crush most of the Pokemon that you can have. And again, don't even think about using a fighting type here, as it naturally sports Zen Headbutt as a great coverage move. More important than all of that though, is Munchlax's absurd bulk. If you've ever played Lillipup before, you know how scary this thing can be. I was so proud for finding the quick feet workaround to finish off Porygon, but then was immediately stumped again as to how I could possibly kill this Munchlax. My one ray of hope is a cautious little rat that has far inferior stats. If I could get Patrat in and live another turn, it would outspeed and kill Munchlax with just 2 low kicks. Munchlax's one weakness is its speed. Of course though, getting Patrat in and living another turn is seemingly impossible. It dies to 2 Chipaways and 2 Zen Headbutts, or 1 crit from either. We could get a free switch in if Munchlax goes for Workup, but unfortunately, after 1 Workup, Patrat then has a 50% chance to immediately die to just 1 chip away. The only other way to get Patrat in for free is to sacrifice Teddiursa. The only solution I could find was to stay in with Teddiursa, deal as much damage as possible, and throw out a salute for our fallen comrade. Now you might say that losing even 1 Pokemon to this fight is worthy of a reset, but the run isn't over until it's over. 1 death is a hell of a lot better than wiping. And if you're playing a fight where you aim to lose 0 Pokemon, that might be a sign that you're playing far too risky. Understanding when you need to sacrifice a Pokemon and what to sacrifice is a crucial skill as a Nuzlocker. So, our Teddy dies, Patrat comes in and can clean up the kill on Munchlax with a low sweep. After Munchlax dies, Lillipup comes out. Another reason why sacrificing Teddiursa was important. You see, Lillipup has Retaliate, which could kill our Patrat outright if we took a substantial amount of damage to Munchlax. But because Teddiursa got an extra hit or 2 in, our Patrat has a nice juicy health bar. Because of that, this Lillipup is a lot more likely to work up this turn, not try to kill us. While it goes for work up, we can stay in and hit a headbutt. Turn 2, it might attack, it might work up, who knows. If it attacks, you gotta dodge a crit and there's nothing you can do. Either way, you hope you live and you finish it off with a second headbutt, bringing in Deerling. Now Deerling is a really fast mon that has work up, leech seed, double kick, and headbutt to take out our Patrat. We have to switch. Taking a look at the calculator, Poochyena Fire Fang and Pansear Flame Charge deal a decent amount of damage to this thing, but neither of them will outspeed or flat out wall its attacks. However, Pansear's Flame Charge will give it a much needed speed boost, allowing it to outspeed and kill the following turn. So, Pansear seems like it's the play, but if I immediately switch to it on an incoming headbutt or double kick, I'm gonna get outsped the following turn and Pansear will die. Instead, I believe going to Poochyena first is the correct play, as when I switch in Poochyena, Deerling will get its attack lowered because of it Intimidate. Poochyena can get crit and die here, but again, there's nothing I can really do about that. Now after our Poochyena takes 1 hit, it could potentially die to the opposing Deerling, but the AI really doesn't like getting its attack lowered. It's almost guaranteed to work up here, meaning we should get a very free switch in to Pansear. Now that our Pansear's in and has full HP, the Deerling is once again very likely to go for workup. This will allow us to get 1 flame charge in and get our much needed speed boost. After that, it'll only take 1 more flame charge and we should oh fuck. I kind of forgot about berry juice. Well, hey, that's why we run these tests and calculate, right? Remember to always check everything. Lucky for me, in this case, there's no other play, even if I knew Berry Juice was here. We just have to keep clicking Flame Charge until Deerling eventually dies, hoping that it doesn't kill us beforehand. We get 4 Pokemon down and only have 2 to go. Aipom comes in next. Aipom has a Water Gym and knows Water Pulse. This thing was designed to kill your Tepig or Pansear. Lucky for us, we can abuse that by pivoting to our Oshawott on the incoming Water Pulse, taking little to no damage. Aipom could also Fake Out or Work Up here, depending on your Pansear's HP, all of which are totally fine. Once Oshawott is in, we can go for 2 Razor Shells and 1 Aqua Jet to finish off the Aipom. Remember that our Oshawott can't get crit here because of its Shell Armor ability. Last but certainly not least is Cheren's Doduo. This thing is incredibly fast and a vicious attacker. Luckily though, it's not very bulky and most of my Pokemon have a way to 2-hit kill it. Problem of course is, how do I get any of my Pokemon that can kill it in to actually kill it? And what if they don't outspeed it? Spoiler, none of them outspeed! The solution, similar to the solution for most things in this fight, is to abuse Workup AI. This Doduo currently sees a kill on my Oshawott, so it isn't going to work up this turn. I can switch in Poochyena to intimidate the Doduo down and take the incoming Pluck. Hopefully, Poochyena lives, but even if it dies, we still will win the fight. Now that our Poochyena is at such low HP, Doduo can see a kill with any of its moves. However, Quick Attack is a priority move, meaning the AI will put more value into clicking that move over any of its others. So what we've done is essentially locked Doduo into going for Quick Attack. And because we've also lowered its attack with Intimidate, this becomes a very safe switch into our Swinub. Now that our Swinub is safely in, the AI will remember that it had its attack lowered last turn because of Intimidate and go for Workup, while we click Ice Shard. Swinub may not outspeed Doduo, but Ice Shard has priority. 2 Ice Shards kills Doduo, and we pat ourselves on the back as we just defeated BB2 Redux's first gym leader with very little risk. Right, guys? No. Yeah, so this strategy is by no means foolproof. You've got to dodge a lot of crits, hope for some ranges, bank on Workup AI, and sacrifice your Teddiursa, but hey, all this is a lot better than wiping straight up. And even if we don't dodge every crit, we're not going to wipe to the Cheren fight. This strat should almost always result in a win, unless we get terrible RNG. Remember, the player we took this save file from did happen to wipe to Cheren, so as long as we're doing better than that, that's improvement. But enough of all this talk and theory and blah blah blah. It's time to put all of this into practice. And hey, you know what they say, theory and practice are the exact same. In theory, but not in practice. So let's run a simulation of this battle with no take backsies. Everything on the table, all the risk, and see what happens in the moment and how well we do. And find out if we can avoid a total Cheren wipe. The fight starts off pretty well. Our Teddiursa outspeeds and gets a nice hit off against the Porygon with Headbutt. The Porygon decides to go for a turn 1 Workup instead of Swift, meaning we immediately dodge the chance for our Teddy to die to a Porygon Swift crit. Additionally, this means we'll get an extra hit off against Munchlax before we have to sack Teddiursa, making things a little bit more comfy for our Patrat. The next turn we kill Porygon with Headbutt and Munchlax is sent out. I pause for a moment to contemplate if sacking Teddiursa is still necessary, but ultimately decide that it's just much safer to let Teddy fall. Teddiursa gets 2 Headbutts off, dealing a nice chunk of damage to Munchlax before it goes down. Salutes out, boys. Our Patrat gets the clean switch in and finishes off Munchlax with just 1 low kick. This baits in Lillipup. Thanks to a turn 1 Workup from Porygon, our Patrat has a lot of HP against this Lillipup, meaning that it's incredibly likely to go for Workup this turn, as opposed to trying to kill us with Retaliate. Lillipup does Workup, and because of that, our Patrat is able to get a Headbutt in. Next turn, Lillipup goes for the Retaliate, and we thankfully dodge the crit and finish it off with another Headbutt. Cheren sends out Deerling. At our current HP, Deerling could see a kill and try to take out our Patrat, or it could not see a kill and go for either Workup or a Leech Seed. In either case, I need to send in Poochyena. This will allow me to get an Intimidate off and bait Workup next turn to get my Pansear in safely. So far, everything's going according to plan. Turns out the Deerling does see a kill and goes for Headbutt against my Poochyena, but thanks to Intimidate, it only does a little under half my HP. And now, we guarantee a workup or a Leech Seed so I can send in my Panseer for free against the Deerling. Deerling does in fact go for workup, and now we can go for a Flame Charge while Deerling works up again. Flame Charge should perfectly let us outspeed next turn, but oh my god, that's a crit, boys. You'll love to see it. That means no risk against this Deerling. Now, we don't have to worry about berry juice or crits or anything anymore. Probably one of the best turns to get a crit, honestly. Aipom is sent out next and could be going for Water Pulse, Fake Out, or Work Up against our Panseer, any of which are totally fine to send our Oshawott in against. It decides to go for Work Up. Now, it's time to start chipping away at this Aipom with Razor Shells. It goes for another Work Up, and I get some decent damage in. After the second Work Up, I run a quick calculation just to make sure I don't die to a double hit at +2 attack. I don't, and I can't get crit because of Oshawott's Shell Armor ability. So, I'm sitting very comfortably. I highly expect a double hit to come out, which I'm guaranteed to live, and next turn, an Aqua Jet priority move will for sure take out the Aipom. Instead of double hit though, it goes for Water Pulse. I don't think much of this at all. I really shouldn't take much damage here, even though it's at +2 attack and has a Water Jet. Unless... ah, fuck. Now not only do I have to hit my Razor Shell this turn through Confusion, but I have to hit my Aqua Jet next turn through Confusion. Otherwise, my Oshawott for sure dies. This is scary. I get through this turn and hit my Razor Shell, but I still have to hit one more attack. I don't think there's any other play here, as Aipom is already +2 workups deep, is faster than everything I have, and will just attack anything and everything until I have nothing left. I think for a moment, pray, and click Aqua Jet. We hit it! And crit too! Suck it, Aipom! Cheren's final Pokemon comes out, and the plan from here is simple. We send out Poochyena on the incoming Pluck, dodge a crit, and get Intimidate off. I send in Swinub on the guaranteed quick attack, and we dodge the crit. This is perfect. I use my priority Ice Shard as it workups, and my second Ice Shard takes it out. Come on, Swinub, you got this. There it is, boys, let's go. One Death Cheren instead of a wipe. And of course, you could say, but you know, the early game's so hard, one Death Cheren, just reset. Never reset. The run isn't over till it's over. Our runner that we took this save file from wiped, completely wiped to Cheren, and with a better plan and better strategy, we were able to beat this fight with only one single death. And that death was Teddy Ursa. An encounter totally fine with losing. We have an Intimidate Poochyena, a very nice Oshawott, you know, some other encounters, whatever. Totally runnable attempt. There's nothing wrong with this. We could get some great encounters before Roxy. Who knows what could happen. One death is always better than a wipe. So thank you so much for watching Nuzlocke Case Studies. I hope that you enjoyed this episode or learned something. And until next time, I'll see you. If you're interested in more, make sure to click that like button, and if you want me to review one of your save files or have a set of encounters that you think would be interesting, leave a comment down below or write me a DM on Discord. I'm very curious to try out anything that you have to offer me and find this to be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see ya.